Oh, hello. How are
Hola,
you
peoples.
doing?
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Well, muy bien, gracias. I think that's how they say it in Espanol.
Muy
You know,
bien,
I
gracias.
habla a little Espanol,
Oh, you habla just a little
a little bit,
Espanol.
just a
Just
little bit.
a little Espanol. Okay.
A
All
little.
right.
I habla a little escargot.
Okay, got you. All right. And that's TT Garalo. What? TT Garalo, what? What? A TT. I don't know. It's be past Taco Tuesday. I wanted a taco. That's what I was thinking of. I couldn't get it out.
You know, we always got to say hello to our super fans. So, what's up to Eccentric and
Yes.
Wolf Cortez? So, thank you guys for joining.
Hey,
And
little bro.
Lubiton is in the room, and Mikey D.
Hey, little bro.
Oh, Eccentric just told us it's grassy ass. Yes.
Oh, it's grassy. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Me hablo español muy goodo.
Muy goodo. Got it.
Yeah,
Got
right.
it.
Okay.
Got it.
Hey, Joshua. Greetings. How y'all doing?
Hey, Atlas. So I'm
What up,
glad everyone
Atlas?
has joined us. This is going to be a fun. I was telling Epic just before we got started, my energy is feeling a little low today. I don't know what it is. You know what? I mean, I was feeling fine. I mean, I think it's just, the midday slump,
Okay.
So, and I
Oh,
always
come
get
on now. That's contagious. Now, come on now. All that.
right. I get a little bit of blah like midday, but everything is good. So,
Okay.
how was your week, dear?
My week, it seems like it's never ending because the day
It's a
job is
never-ending
exactly
story.
like I'm riding this damn white motherfucking
Mhm.
doggy leopard dragon thing going
When they
on.
made that movie, they was high as hell.
But yeah, I mean, it's just like the never ending week, and it's just been dragging on. I have some stuff to do for an upcoming program, and you know how you have to there's information I need to enter into the system and kind of process some stuff, but it's these 85,000 steps to put in 9 different things that is just driving me crazy. And I'm doing something else this week while I'm hosting a class with a subject matter expert that is phenomenal, but baby, he puts me right on to sleep, and I'm trying to like work while I'm listening to him in my ear and then trying to figure out what the cues are for when he needs me to do stuff. And I'm like, and I literally was sitting in my chair yesterday, and I was like, I was holding the remote in my hand. I was like, and I heard him in my ear, but I was staying awake. But he just, it just got me all the way. I'm just, yeah. But that class is over. I have 2 more days and another class with him tomorrow and Friday, and I'm good. So it's coming to an end, and I see it, and I'm actually getting some work done. So I've made some plans for some other stuff to get some more work done because I can't multitask with him in my ear. It's something about his voice that's just wearing me out. But I see the light at the end of the tunnel. So, but I'm so sorry that your week is, I mean, not your week, but your energy is low for today. And like you said, there's nothing that's going on that's making it weak or making it low, but that's so sad.
Oh yeah, I'll be fine.
Oh,
It's just it's definitely not like there's anything wrong. So
okay.
it's just getting my life together.
All right. I know the feeling. I've been having it probably for the past 2 months, and I'll fill you guys in on that once I've taken care of everything. But listen, this adulting thing and this car thing and this state thing is just. I'll fill you all in afterwards when I'm done and everything is all. But it's just.
Yeah. I understand what you said, but I fucking hate when people say adulting because I'm like, no, girl, you're an adult. And I know what you mean, but you like when younger people said it, like adulting is hard, and it's just so funny to me because I remember when I turned 18, and yes, there were some hard decisions that I had to make, and some shit that went down that I didn't one, but I never, like, I hear people be like, oh, I wish I was 16 again. Or, I wish I was 14 again. I have never wished that I was a teenager again. Never. Not once, not ever.
Now, I agree with you on that. But, you know, it's and specifically for me, for those that may not have understood when I say that, but the adulting thing of, like, you know, being responsible and,
I knew exactly what you meant. It's
no,
just,
not for you. I'm just for everybody else, but just because listen, being an adult is wonderful, baby. You get to make choices, and you
right.
you have
Can't
options.
nobody tell me where I can go. Can't nobody
Right.
tell me what I can't do.
So, you know, that part I absolutely adore and I love. But again, it's the responsibility piece of, you know, making choices and being responsible with the choices that you make. Sometimes that's the thing that becomes a little difficult, and specifically for me with that situation. But I'll go into that stuff later once I'm all finished with that. But yeah, but other than that, you know, it's listen, life is good. I mean, I talked to my mom. She's okay. Next on my list is gonna be my grandma, to have a chit chat with her, just to check up on her. You know, I can't really complain about stuff, you know. I've had my sister on my mind lately for I don't know, for whatever reason. But you know, it's all good. I've been thinking about some family members. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm getting ready to change how I feel about certain things, but they've crossed my mind. So I think that's a step in some direction. So
Yes.
that's good.
That's good. How's
But
mom doing?
she listen, she's fine. As you know, I told you a long time ago, you know, with her dementia, I stopped correcting her and just kind of let her go with whatever she's going with. And so when she picks up the phone, if she tells me that there are purple elephants in green tutus running by her, then baby, guess what? Just smack one on the ass and tell them to get a green bow to match the tutu. So I go with it, because at the end of the day, as long as she's still laughing and she's happy, and look, I'm good with that. So and you know, she's still here, and I'm okay with that as well. The person that she was isn't still here, but what this new version of her is still here, and both versions are still my mom. So I'm happy that she's here. So I'm good. Yeah, so I'm good. So, but you know, that's been the thing for me. But you know, hope everybody else has been having a good week. I see Maximus has joined us. Hey, Wolf. Who else is there? So wait, Atlas said your gay powers are low today.
Yes, my gay powers are low. I need someone to suck something out of me, and that's how I get recharged.
Listen, I've been making plans for my DNA appointments, because I feel like I need to stock up.
Right.
So we're gonna see how this is gonna go for this weekend. So we're gonna see what happens this weekend. So we shall see.
Right. This is supposed to be a quiet weekend for me.
Yeah, well, that's it. We'll see how it goes for me, because there's a couple things up in the air. And you know how you see someone and you entertain things with them, but the moment you entertain them, or you're about to entertain them, and you're trying to figure out, I wonder why we never, or I don't remember why we stopped. And as soon as you say yes, you then remember, you're like,
that's why. Yes. The moment you say yes, or they say or do that one thing, you be like, that's why I don't fuck with you.
So yeah, I've committed to something, and I'm going to enjoy it, but I know where it's not gonna go.
Right.
So we'll leave it at that.
Right. Is it with who I think it is?
No.
Oh.
No.
No, thank God. So I see Freaky McNasty and Crimson Diamond and Billy Boy. Hey Billy. So yeah, so my week was fine. You know, last weekend was pretty busy. You know, we had lots of Onyx stuff. You know, I pulled another presentation out of my ass for the pledges of Onyx Northwest on Saturday, and they loved it. You know, I guess I am pretty good. I mean, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. So, you know, I'm trying to build this whole side career, right? Well, it's not a career because I ain't getting paid for none of it yet, but a side business as a kink educationalist, educationalogicalist, a kink educationalogicalist. That's what I'm gonna put on my business card. Educationalogicalist.
You know what? Go with God.
Yeah, right.
Go with God.
And today, see, one of our potential pledges, she's got a real smart mouth, so I'm about to deal with her later. Not the one we hung out with.
Oh, well, that was fun though.
That was fun. We'll get to that in a moment. But
Yeah.
today, I'm a kink instructor. Very good, Billy. Thank you. I'm a kink instructor. Mm-hmm.
You give kink instruction and you are a kink instructor. Okay.
Exactly. So we in fact, I should write that down. Dominion Onyx, kink instructor.
Kink instructor or edu kink instructor? Edu kink instructor.
Some kink instructor is,
kink
instructor is edu kink instructor is a little. That's a little
like educationalist. Is that what you said?
Educationalogicalist.
Educationalogical. 10% to my Venmo. Thanks. You know what, Billy?
Billy had to go. Look at Billy. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Billy had to leave.
He done logged out already. Look at Bill. Oh, look at Bill. Oh,
that's terrible.
So sorry.
Terrible.
Connection.
Right.
Billy, are we freezing? Are we freezing up?
Oh, good. She's gone. Okay. Thank God. So today, they had. So last week I told you I put together this presentation. I didn't even think we need to have a meeting on it, right? But my boss was like, well, we need to present this to the senior executives. I was like, for what? It was basically log into the system, click this button, click this other button, pull on this drop down, select this button, and then hit enter, and boom. She was like, no. I want to put you in front of the people. It's because I don't understand.
Listen.
My check keeps clearing and whatever.
That's the most important thing. That is the most important thing.
Oh my God. We were in this meeting for an hour and 10 minutes to discuss something that should have taken all of 5 minutes. And this is with senior leaders. And I'm just sitting there like,
but you know, this is how it always goes.
Camera isn't on.
This is how it always goes. I mean, this is how it always happens.
Right. I was like, oh, thank God my camera isn't on. And then so she was like, why don't you add a little bit of what we talked about today? And then Monday I put it on. Hey, Lynx. Oh, yes. Our super fan Lynx is here. Thank you. He says I'm at work, but want to poke my head in. Ooh, my goodness. Is that what I thought?
I mean,
it was a pretty big poke too.
I mean, it's always welcome if you want to go ahead and poke it in. I mean, that's fine. We will always be here to receive.
Well,
you dropping it.
Sure. You dropping it. And then yesterday I gave the presentation to the entire team, and afterwards she was like, oh my God, this presentation was amazing. And she was like, listen, I know that you did this presentation in all of like 10 minutes, but the culture here at Pepco is they don't, they expect so little of people that when you do something, go ahead and take credit for it because, whatever. So I was like, all right, fine. Then today, here they come with this bullshit. So we were supposed to go back into the office starting in September. Clearly, I mean, we'll start with the head, Crimson Diamond, and we'll see how I feel after that. I don't do this very often, so it's going to take me a minute to adjust.
Listen. I volunteer as tribute.
Be careful what you wish for. Don't be sitting there like, oh, I want it. And then you like, we ain't got all day.
I am an old pro ho.
Anywho, so today they were like, okay, so the soonest we'll move back into the office is November now, and we're going to combine phase 1 and 2. I'm in phase 2, so now I got to go. What you say? Oh, it's not that big, just 8.5. Okay, girl. I mean, we've seen the video. We've all got Twitter, so you're good.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and how did Queen Latifah do it? Did I stutter?
Right. So we were all right, so we're going back in November, and they sent out a survey, and I knew this whole thing was bullshit. They were like, they want to know what we thought about going back into the office. And I was like, listen, there's no need for me to go into the office ever. No reason. I knew that wasn't going to be acceptable, but they didn't do the worst case, which was we got to go back to the office 5 days a week. But they want us in the office 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I'm like, on those 3 days, I'm going to be sitting around doing nothing. Because like today, if you compressed all of the actual work that I had to do, it took me about 45 minutes. I went and drove down to Anacostia to get my car inspected. Some furniture arrived. And so I put together my new office chair and everything. And so if I got to sit in these people's face for 8 hours a day and pretend to work, I ain't gonna be there very long. And I actually said in the survey, I said, if you all have me come back to the office more than 1 to 2 days a week, I will 100% be looking for another job. Now, it was an anonymous survey, so there is that.
Well, listen, we are also on track to go back into the office. They did actually say the beginning of next year, so we're looking at January. But it's interesting that the Health and Safety Committee has been meeting ahead of time so they can try to prep and get everything together. And so, we seem to have this uptick of people going back outside, but then we also have this uptick of COVID cases and Delta variant and all these other variants that are coming through. So now the conversation is going back down. So we're looking at January. And I do believe that it's probably going to be January at the earliest, probably March at the latest, because I feel like they're going to wind up pushing it back, because now you're at now we're at that point of, do all of us go back in? And if we do go back in, certain people can't go back in. We have to figure out our spacing again. We want to still try to go by social distancing and, 6 feet. And, so I think I was sharing with you before that, our office was being remodeled and we were losing space. And so there's a part of what I do where there's like a graduation ceremony, if you will. And so there's stuff that needs to happen. And so we need a large space to kind of do quality assurance on that stuff. Well, you've reduced our space. What are we supposed to do? So now it's like we don't have the open space that we used to have and that we needed. And now you're talking about not possibly, you've reduced our space even more. And now you're going to limit how many people can come in, and I can't use their space while they're not here. So I'm not quite sure how this is going to work, but we shall see.
Right. So we were talking, there's that meme going around and say, if you work in an office, you can guarantee that the Black people in your in that meeting will have a side meeting afterwards to discuss the meeting. Well, since we're not in the office, bitch, we are having the side meeting in parallel via text.
Baby, listen, y'all are like, oh my God, thank you so much, President such and such. Yes.
Bitch, girl, fuck this bitch, fuck this whole country, fuck all of this. So that's basically what it was. And me and this other woman, she's our same age. She just turned 50 in April. Her kids are grown. And she was saying, I was like, listen, the reason that we got to go back into the office is a couple of things. People don't like their kids.
Let's put that high on the list.
And they don't like their spouses. So they're tired of seeing these people all the time, neither of which is my problem, or they don't have enough space. Because even our senior manager, was like, kept getting interrupted in the meeting by his kids. And I was like, didn't you tell these little rugrats not to fucking bother you when the door is closed? I just don't get it. And it doesn't have to do with, I'm not we've had this conversation about beating our kids. I'm not saying beat your kids. My parents certainly spanked us, but we never got beat. But my father was a mechanic, so you can't do that, whatever. But I guarantee you that if my father was like, I'm going into this room and closing the door, do not disturb me until this door is open, me and my sister would have been like tippy pausing around that whole fucking house until they open the door. I cannot tell you, and everybody that's listening to this has this experience of being in the meeting. And
oh my God, it's Lola.
Hey, Lola.
Hey, Lola.
We missed you.
Yeah, were you? I hope all is well. I know you said you had some stuff to take care of, but I hope all is well.
Lola popped up in the LLC thing that I had to do on Sunday.
Oh,
but yeah, we've all been in a meeting and someone's kid is, walks past, or the cat or whatever. I'm like, girl.
Wait, exactly, eccentric. I swear for God, the rules, there are rules that need to be about. Listen, you will abide by these rules. This is not we're not doing this.
The way that what my coworker was saying, she was like, listen, my kids are grown. If I told them do not come into this room unless this house is burning down, they would be like, don't come into this room unless house is burning down. I mean, that just is what it is. And she said, but kids these days rule their parents, not the other way around. And so that's the three big drivers is that people don't have control over their kids or their pets, and they don't like their spouse, so they're ready to get away from them. The other big driver is that these people are still paying all of this rent and other stuff for this space that we haven't been using for the last year and a half. So, and I get it, but the largest driver, I think, is the fact that a lot of managers, the senior managers, in addition to not liking their kids and spouses and whatever, don't know how to manage people. So you should have heard, like, when our boss, Aaron, was talking about, so it'll be like 3 days a week, even over the internet, you could hear did this bitch just say 3 days a week? When we have, listen, has any, other than an electrical outage, right, because of weather or something, has anybody power at Pepco been off for the past year and a half? No. Has anybody services not happened? No. Has any project fallen behind? No. So there is no reason why we need to go into the office. Yes, if you are actually working on a project and digging into the ground and putting down new electrical cables or doing whatever, you need to go to the site to do that. But then you come back home from that. You don't need to go to the office to sit around and look at these people. The management still doesn't get it that everyone is generally fine with working at home, and work has still gotten done, and people have been productive, and like the idea that if I need to go and pick up the dry cleaning, I don't have to wait until after 6 p.m. to do it. If I got like 2 hours between this one meeting and the next, I can go get that done. And so they just don't get it. And I think when they start pushing this, because I think we aren't going back in November either, because I was like, girl, y'all acting like we're already at the crest of this. We are not at the crest of the and I'm not happy about it necessarily. But we are not at the crest of this new wave of infections. And y'all, so we're already essentially at the end of August. So that means September, October. And you're talking about coming back in the office November the 1st? No, girl.
At the height of, we're already at, well, I should say at the height of, but again, at the rate that it's spreading, we are all going to be, we're all going to be in that zone. We're in that zone now. We're in the zone now. We're in a hot zone. Come on. I don't know.
We'll talk to you later. I want to get the update on MAL, but I don't know that we want to share that with everybody just yet. I'll wait for the Centaurs to make that official announcement. So we'll talk about that later.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, so
and listen, Maximus, see, this is why I tell y'all all the time, I don't do domestics, honey. I just don't do domestics, honey.
Right. The Delta definitely has something to say about us going back to the office. And I am so mad about it because today I got this email from Southwest saying $49 flight. And I was like, let me just see what she's giving. And the prices was giving to Fort Lauderdale, but then I changed it, and the prices giving to Fort Lauderdale were like generally about 99 to 110 each way. Then I said, let's see what Miami is giving. So BWI to Miami was $59 each way. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, even if I don't do like a party and bullshit kind of trip, I mean, I could spend a G and hang out, you know, in a lovely place with a pool and a hot tub and not go nowhere. I mean, it would be better than sitting here in this house. But of course, all of the spots is it's a wrap. So I couldn't find anything for less than $3,000 a week. Fort Lauderdale. Now, I mean, there's a ton of other destinations, but I don't feel I'm not trying to go someplace
to stay
in a hotel. Right. So, and I mean, like, where would I go? So, like, I would go to Florida or maybe to California. And I mean, I might look at California too. So I'm gonna still see what's given, because the sale, again, I'm just looking for a place to go, sit in a hotel, not in a hotel room, in a house with a pool and hot tub, and I can still work. I mean, we've already proven that I can do all of that. And even if we are on lockdown, I can be locked down in a place with a pool and a hot tub.
So yes, that could work. But again, if you're going to do that, you can do that without the travel piece and going deeper into an area that is a hot zone, if you will.
Yeah. Well, this whole country is if you look at the map now, this whole fucking country is a hot zone. So,
well, yes, I mean, but I'm just saying that's a trade-off. So it's like, okay, do I spend? And the good thing is this
is how I'm gonna travel. I'm like.
And now, isn't it funny that maybe 10 years ago, not even 10 years ago, but isn't it funny that 2 years ago or 3 years ago, you couldn't walk into a store like that because they'd have been like, "Excuse me, sir, I need to call the police on you."
Exactly. And now, if you don't walk in a store like that, they're like, "Excuse me, sir, I need to call the police on you."
Exactly. If that is
yes, so Cortez, I would love to take a little trip to San Francisco. That could be cute.
You know, and all this is
you talk about Charlotte was $65 each way, bitch. I am not going to Charlotte.
All of this is right up Maximus's alley, and I don't understand. Listen, bitch. I love you, but baby, you just got the travel bug, bitch. Sit your ass down and wait. Sit down. Sit down. Wait.
I am looking at it like I would just be working remotely from a nicer place than my basement. And if I can't make that happen, because listen, like I said, even for San Francisco, I'm not going just to stay in somebody's hotel room, because I still would have to work. I mean, the advantage of the pool is that when I don't have work to do, I can just be in the pool or the hot tub chilling. So 99% of the time I ain't going nowhere, but it was wishful thinking.
Right. And then even the idea of like, well, let me see what's in it. Let me look on the interwebs and look on the, on the gay finders and see what I see in the area. Then it'll be like, no, but you can't come in. I mean, could you stay on the other side of this door and maybe line up to this hole and then lean over? But that's it. I mean, but that's it.
Apparently Maximus needs to get a fee from Southwest. He apparently called everybody to talk about the cheap flight. So he's our little own version of cheap flights.
Oh Lord! But anyway, I'm gonna leave that alone because I'm sure I'm gonna have a phone call afterwards and we'll be talking about that. But
right. So a couple of things. So did you get or see on Friday that Krispy Kreme was given the two you buy one dozen donuts, get another dozen donuts for free?
So I heard that, and I think I self-consciously dashed over it. So I was trying not to be bothered with it because I was like, okay, this is not a good look. This is not a good look. And in fact, I think it was Spectre that actually brought it up to me. It was either Spectre or Deviant that brought it up to me, but I can't remember. But it was brought up, and I kind of like dashed over it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah,
I went.
Like,
I literally was not planning to go to Krispy Kreme, but I happened to be on that side of the world, and I was like, "Don't I get a dozen donuts for free?" So I went and got a dozen donuts, and the guy at the cashier was obviously one of the girls, and it was like this awkward silence where he just kept like looking at me, and so I was like, "I like your nails," because he had like these long nails with whatever. And I felt like he thought I was flirting with him, and I feel like he was trying to flirt with me. He was like, "I like your nails too," and I was like, "Okay, thank you." And I took my
thanks for the donuts.
and walked out. So,
Thanks for the donuts. Thanks, girl. Yay. Okay.
right,
Yes. The door's still locked. Is he still looking? Is he still looking?
exactly. Okay, lock this door. Start this call. Let's keep it moving.
Okay,
Okay.
let it go.
And so the last thing is on Sunday, we went to see Respect.
So, okay.
First of all, let's just be clear that
Yeah.
this one is a hater. He is a Jennifer Hudson hater.
Let me clarify for all of those, because listen, I don't need the J Huds to jump in my shit. I will stand in my shit, but I'm gonna still clarify what it is that what I've said several times, time and time again, and I have a different viewpoint now. But what I've said previously is that Jennifer Hudson, for me, whenever she opens her mouth to sing, all I hear is Effie White. I thought she did a phenomenal job in Dreamgirls, and that supporting actress a nomination and award that she got was absolutely perfect. It was perfectly cast for her. She earned every bit of it. She outshined some of the seasoned actors or other actors in that film. She was amazing. But in her music, anything that she sings, when she opens her mouth, all I hear is Effie White. There are a couple cuts that she has that I do like, but I like them because she doesn't sound like Effie White. And I was hesitant to go and see this movie because I thought, oh God, she's getting ready to sing the Queen of Soul. And y'all know the Queen of Soul has this wail, this raspiness, this power that, when it's interpreted by Jennifer Hudson, in my opinion, I was thinking it was going to be Effie White. But what I will say is she did a phenomenal job of not being Effie White. That's what I will say. I hear people talking about this movie, talking about Oscar buzz and all this stuff. For the movie, maybe. For Jennifer Hudson, in my opinion, not so much. But I think she did a good job at not being Effie White.
Hater. That
Call it what you like.
Ladies and gentlemen, if in the dictionary under hateration in the dancery will be a picture and video of Epic saying all of that he just said.
Get my good side.
I will say that there was a slight concern in my mind that, so I've always felt that Jennifer Hudson in Dreamgirls was so good because Jennifer Hudson is Effie White. Like, the story of Jennifer Hudson's life is in a lot of ways Effie White's story. The big girl who has the best voice in the group, but is overlooked because she's the big girl in the room full of girls who can sing but can't sing, but who are conventionally pretty. So I thought that she was able to channel whatever pain that she had as Effie White. And so I was concerned because in some ways, Aretha Franklin is also Effie White in some ways. And so I was like, are we just going to see Effie White singing all of these songs? I will say that I was definitely happy that she did not. She sang the songs the way I feel like Aretha would have sung them, but she did put a slightly unique spin on them because she was clearly singing all of those songs. This was no overdub by some other actress or whatever. And several of the songs just took me. When she did, you saw them doing the studio recording of Ain't No Way.
Yes.
And, you know, of course, what makes the song, I mean, yes, we all love Aretha's part, but the part that makes the song is
the harmonies in the background.
Is Carolyn with that clear and perfect high note in the background. That's what really makes the song. And that actress, I can't even remember her name, but she hit it out of the park. Now, I will say that nobody in the movie looked like nobody they were supposed to play. She looked less like Aretha Franklin than Angela Bassett did Tina Turner. So, I mean, it was like she didn't look anything like Aretha Franklin, but she was dressed like appropriately for the period.
So yeah, absolutely. Now I thought the costuming was excellent.
Yes,
absolutely excellent. But I do feel like there were some still shots of her in the film where she really gave me Riri overall. So it wasn't like, yeah, overall, especially with the blue and the electric feathers or whatever. Like she was, and there was a couple other scenes, but again, she gave me Riri. So I will see that. And
the afro, when she had the afro look, I could
see. As soon as she put that afro on, I saw Effie. And I saw her as she was walking up them damn stairs in that 4 flights of stairs, that apartment to the 4th floor, that all the way to the top with no damn air conditioning, carrying that luggage and that groceries and that baby. And she was tired because she had that tight afro. Effie White. That's what I saw.
I will say, so I'll also say that everyone did an excellent job. But the person that I feel like was most miscast was whoever they had playing Martin Luther King. Because I was like, he'll look. I mean, they didn't even try.
So
they didn't even like try to get in the same ballpark as Martin.
What did you think of? What did you think of Marlon Wayans playing Ted White?
I don't know what Ted looks like, so
I don't necessarily know if I don't remember specifically what he looks like, but I felt like his presence of that character was pretty good.
He was. You know, a lot of comedians are really good dramatic actors because a lot of comedy comes from pain, and a lot, you know, they often tap into that. So I thought he was good. Yeah, I also was tripping.
Are we going kiki about what's
before we get to that?
Okay,
I was tripping off of how hood C.L. Franklin was. This motherfucker.
Wait. Put a pin in it. Let's talk about Forrest Whitaker and how this is the best that I've seen him look in a while. Now, I'm not saying Forrest Whitaker is attractive or unattractive or anything else, but this is the best that I've seen him look.
Yes. So Forrest Whitaker played C.L. Franklin, who is Aretha's father, who was also a very popular gospel artist and minister in Detroit. And he did not like Ted, who was Aretha Franklin's first husband, to the point where Aretha invited Ted to dinner and did not tell the family. And when C.L. Franklin walked in to his own dining room and saw Ted, he put the gun.
See when you get back, hopefully.
he pulled a gun on him. And I was like, this motherfucker carries around a gun in his own fucking living room in broad daylight. That's hood as hell. That is just hood.
But wait, it started with the first interaction when he was basically like, you don't want this smoke, mother. You don't want.
He sure did. At the party, and everybody got like real quiet because that cut through the whole fucking party. And then there was a couple of kikis with the girls, because like in the very beginning with young Aretha, there's like Aretha's like coming through, so you're hearing the party through the ears and the eyes of a child.
Yes.
And these two dudes, you just hear them off screen. It's like one dude said, "Nigga, you are the finest motherfucker in here," and it's like two dudes that just like, oh. But I was like, damn, this is a C.L. Franklin's house. He be having parties like that. So it was like there was these two sides to C.L. Franklin, where he was like this popular Baptist minister, but he was also like, he was almost like he was a pimp.
He was Bujetta Gospel.
Bujetta Gospel, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the key of the key was that they had Titus Burgess playing James Cleveland. And I didn't realize in the very beginning of the movie, it was clearly Titus Burgess.
Yep.
Although he didn't look anything like Titus Burgess normally looks.
Right.
But it was still clearly him. I didn't know that was James Cleveland. I didn't know how close the relationship was between Aretha Franklin and James Cleveland.
Smokey Robinson, Martin Luther King,
right.
Dinah Washington, like everybody, all these people, all these famous gospel singers.
And Dinah Washington was played by Mary J. Blige, who did an amazing job.
She did an amazing job. Like, I still saw bits of Mary. And listen, I'm trying not to be that. I will own my title of the Russian judge, because I judge harshly. So let me be clear, I will own that. So y'all can say whatever y'all want about that. I thought Mary did a good job. There were some bits and pieces of Mary, but Mary's still a work in progress. And I'm hoping to see her at some point when it kicks and she booms and it blossoms. It's going to be amazing. But her scene at the club, baby, yeah. I was ready for it. I was like, okay, come on, girl.
Audra McDonald did an amazing job as Barbara Franklin, Aretha's mother. I thought she really did a good job. Haley Kilgore is the woman who played Carolyn Franklin.
Let's not also forget about Heather Headley, who played Carolyn.
No, Heather Headley played Clara Ward, who was C.L. Franklin's girlfriend.
Was it Clara? That's her name? I thought it was Catherine.
Yes. Okay. So if you ever, the movie is basically built around, it's basically, there's like her sort of beginning life, but then the main part of the movie is built around the stories around a couple of songs, including Ain't No Way, Respect, and one other song.
Amazing Grace, actually.
But that was the last song. But what was the first song that they did?
The first song was you mean the blues?
Natural. It might have been Natural Woman. Or whatever it was. But it's built around these songs. And so the end of the movie is about the making of her gospel album. And the producer, Wexler,
I never loved the man the way that I loved you.
Never loved the man, yes. The last scene or set of scenes is about the creation of that album. And Jerry Wexler actually filmed that.
I loved.
Yes. And he never, because of technical reasons, that movie was not released until almost 30 years later. And the movie of the filming of Amazing Grace only came out like in 2018, because I saw it in New York City. But all of the stories behind that. And so it's so funny that when C.L. Franklin in the movie of the making of Amazing Grace, C.L. Franklin walks in and they announce Clara Ward, and everybody sort of like, now Clara Ward is like a very famous gospel singer. I mean, she's just not just some schmo who happened to be C.L. Franklin's arm candy. So she comes in like a fur and everything, and she's like, everybody's like, and then when Aretha Franklin comes in, they're like, oh my got it. So you can see on her face where she's trying to be like, I'm not gonna be jealous. I'm not gonna be jealous. These cameras is on me, so I'm not gonna be jealous. But oh my God, that movie was amazing. But you know, the theater, we went to Magic Johnson Theater. So it was okay.
It was okay. It was okay.
Slightly. I mean, I've been to Magic Johnson many a time, but I only go during the day. I don't go in the evening to the Magic Johnson Theater.
It was okay.
So, but for some reason, people have busted a lot of glass in the parking lot.
Oh, now that part. So, yeah. What? So wait a minute. It's one thing that you have. First of all, I don't even know if we still. I don't think I've seen a glass soda bottle in God knows how long. I think there's some like juice bottles or something like that are still glass, but most of them are trying to go to plastic as well. But you have a whole friggin' bottle of wine that you have just laid out in the parking lot on top of 3 or 4 different piles of glass of bottles that you've just broken. And not only that, the people that are driving in the parking lot, how do you not see this glass? And when you go to leave the parking lot, you ride over the mounds of glass.
This woman moved the glass. She saw the glass under her wheel and moved it just to ride right over it. She was leaving the parking lot.
It was enough, but
it was a lot.
It was enough to make you just kind of say, it don't make no difference. And let's also talk about the fact that I mentioned this to you, but you didn't see it. On the passenger side of the vehicle, there was a whole tray, which now I remember where that container came from, Carolina Kitchen, of all types of food that they had just somebody had dropped in the middle of the floor. I mean, in the middle of the parking lot, and it was like greens.
Oh, is that what that was?
That's what on the side that I was like, why would y'all do? I was like, okay. I was like, all right, I'm trying to. It was okay, so that's why I just said it was because I'm trying not to be the Russian judge. You know, I judge harshly.
But you know what? That is my biggest pet peeve when people just like eat food and whatever, and then just throw their trash on the ground. I was like,
there's a trash can right in front of the movie theater that you could. And wait, can we also talk about the young lady that pulled up to? I didn't realize that Magic Johnson Theater had a drive up to the door section.
Oh, they sure. She literally pulled her SUV up onto the pavement and the concrete, like right in front of the theater, like up over the sidewalk and onto the area in front of the theater.
The door. Like she was like 6 or 7 feet away from the door. I was like, are you what? Are you kidding me? Was this what we're doing now? But okay.
But the tickets was only $11.50, so good.
Yeah, so, and so it was cool. And you know, we afterwards with the meatloaf actually was pretty good because we got dinner.
I had the meatloaf and the black eyed peas. We went to Carolina Kitchen right afterward. They were closing, so we had to get what they had because I really had my mouth set for the smothered pork chops. But it was like 9:55 and they closed at 10 o'clock. They had the meatloaf left, so I got the meatloaf and it was good.
But you know what? The other thing is, it felt like the movie felt like it was long, but because it felt like it was so much, but it really wasn't that long. It was just 2 hours. I felt like it was 3 hours for some reason, but not in a bad way, if that makes sense, because I was so interested to see what was going to happen. But you know, it was cool. It was okay. Now
I would definitely watch it again just for the music.
This Oscar performance that they're talking about for J Hud.
It was good. I'm not quite ready to give it Oscar. Yeah, it was not. I mean, Jennifer Hudson as Effie White was like a transformative, like defining, you know, whatever. She did a good job, mainly because since they were clearly not going for this woman needs to look like Aretha Franklin. She at least sounded like her. Now, if they had done prosthetics or whatever to like really make it be whatever, then yeah. But it was fine. But I'm not seeing Oscar.
Yeah, I'm not. But I mean, hey, now maybe for the costuming and the wardrobe, I'll give him
And the
that.
music, for best score. See, you're a fucking hater. You're a hater, man. She's a hater.
Listen, I'm trying not to be the Russian judge. Now, I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it because it was Riri's music. I'm not saying that because listen, baby, listen, there's nobody on this earth that should and I'm gonna give them a pass because they're great, they're fucking amazing singers, but there's no one on this earth that can touch Aretha's Sparkle album for me. But I'm giving In Vogue some grace because those are some singing young ladies. They sang the shit out of it. But that album, Curtis Mayfield and motherfucking Aretha Franklin, she sang the shit out of that album. So I appreciate Riri on so many different levels. But baby, the soundtrack to this movie and all these people singing it, I was grooving because it was Riri's stuff, but I'm not gonna sit here and say that it should have been nominated for an Oscar. But that's just me, the Russian.
Oh no, Epic had to leave the stream. Oh my God, that's terrible.
Just so that we're clear, I'm saying that it was not an Oscar-worthy soundtrack. That's my opinion. That's just where I'm at.
Okay, but you're wrong, though. All right, and so we can move on. Before we talk about all the other stories, I do want to hit on American Idol singer Saisha Mercado talking about how her babies were taken by Child Protective Services. So she basically,
I remember her as well,
had 2 kids. She has 2 kids. She has a newborn, and she is pregnant with another child. And the doctor recommended her taking a B12 shot or something, and she didn't want to take the shot because of whatever reasons. I mean, her body can do whatever the fuck she wants. So anyway, it appears that an angry and vengeful estranged relative called Child Protective Services, and so they took her newborn plus her other child, and she's now fighting to get the child back. And luckily, she's represented by Ben Crump. FAMU, well, he's not a FAMU alum. Daryl is the FAMU alum, but so she's got some good representation. But it's a lot. I mean, the state basically swept in, and of course, this is in Florida. So the state basically swept in, took this woman's 2 kids, and they didn't have any arrest warrant, no reports of accusations. It was just, all based on this one doctor's word, who apparently has like another 150 complaints against her. So, let's keep our eye on this.
Good luck with that. And because I'm sure she's probably sick about the fact that her babies are gone. So good luck with that. I wish.
Well, they're being kept with an estranged relative who, they believe is the one who filed the complaint, because, I mean, they made a point of saying this is an estranged relative, so. But anyway, let's get into the show. It's 8:55. We talked about a lot, but it's all good. This is what we do here.
That's what we do.
Tell us about John Wick, because we're on the 4th movie and I've never seen even a single one. So
oh my God! So I'm the Russian judge. I was like, John Wick is not going to be like, I'm not thinking it's going to be all that great. I saw the first one. I was like, all right, it's cool. But I love some little hand-to-hand combat and some good fighting and stuff. I'm here for that. And so I got through the first one. I was like, all right, it was good. And then even when I saw the second one, I was like, all right, that was cool. But I was like, that's enough. Baby, when I saw 3 Parabellum and Good Old Common, because he was in the second one as well, but Good Old Common showed up and they had that good old hand-to-hand battle. And it was one of those fights where it ended like I see you. I was here for it. But John Wick 4, Keanu Reeves is returning. The director Chad Stahelski is coming back as well. Interesting fact: Chad Stahelski was Keanu Reeves' stunt double when they filmed The Matrix. He also said that in this movie he's going to try to include some other action scenes that were cut from the third one in John Wick Parabellum or whatever. And he's going to try to include those in this chapter 4. So the thing is, for those of you that may have been following John Wick, you know, it ended with Winston, who was he was the manager of the hotel where all the assassins and spies or whatever stayed at, shooting him multiple times off in a bulletproof vest, and he fell from the top of the Continental, which is the name of the hotel. He survived, and then he was picked up by Lawrence Fishburne's character, which is called the Bowery King, and he was like, he was asking him, Lawrence Fishburne's character, the Bowery King, was asking if he was pissed, and he was like, yeah, I'm pissed. So apparently this whole fourth film is going to be about him raging war and trying to figure out, getting revenge against the High Table, which was the governing body of all these assassins and killers or whatever, and the Elder, who was over that. And the Elder actually showed up in the third movie, just like Halle Berry did. He was the person that was out in the desert that lived there, that one that he actually lost a finger to and told him to give up a finger because of some of the stuff that he did. But again, it's going to be pretty good. I'm looking forward to it. Lawrence Fishburne is returning. The guy who plays Winston, Ian McShane, is returning. The actor who played at the front desk from The Wire, I cannot remember his name, but he's actually returning as well. You also have new cast members that are coming. Donnie Yen is going to be coming in John Wick, or starring in John Wick as also. There's also another Japanese British pop singer, Rina Sawayama. There's also going to be another Asian actor, Hiroyuki Sanada, who was cast as Mr. Watanabe, but it's not the Mr. Watanabe that you all may remember from years ago. It's another person who may be a little bit of a villain sort of thing going on, but we'll figure that out. Bill Skarsgård, who played It, or Pennywise rather, who was in It. Halle Berry's character is kind of up in the air. I'm not quite sure if she's going to return or not, because they just couldn't figure out how they would write her in, and they said they would be a little bit concerned about what happens to her. So we're just going to see. But that's kind of what it's going to be based on. And they have Lionsgate is scheduling a release date for May 27th, 2022, but we shall see. Now, they have already started filming, just so that we're clear, and they started sometime in June. So we shall see what this is going to bring and how it's going to pan out. But I'm looking forward to it. And as an FYI, this part 4, they said, is not going to be the end of the franchise, because it was originally also stated they were going to film part 4 and 5 together. Now, how long it's going to go, I don't know. But again, we'll find out more as things come up. We'll keep you posted. But right now, we're looking for a release on May 27, 2022. So we'll figure that out as it comes along.
Okay. So next up, let's talk about Britney Spears. And they keep doing my girl Britney wrong. And I mean, I have never been like a huge Britney fan.
Alone.
Right. I mean, I've never been like a huge fan of Britney's music. There was a couple of bops that, I liked, but I certainly sympathize with her plight. And in this latest turn, her father, Jamie Spears, has agreed to step down from her conservatorship. Oh, sorry. Whew.
All right. Got birth to baby.
Right. That is considered a very big win for Britney, because clearly he's been fighting it. And let me tell you why he's been fighting it. Because according to Forbes, Jamie Spears has made at least $5 million from Britney's conservatorship. Per court documents, Britney has had to pay her father $16,000 a month since February of 2009. In 12 years, that's equal to $2.4 million. In legal documents filed this month, Britney's current lawyer claimed that Jamie spent more than $1.3 million in attorney's fees from October 2020 to June 2021. That's to keep himself on as a conservator. He also alleged that Jamie asked for $541,000 in the past year for quote unquote media matters as Britney's conservator. There's also been evident dissipation of assets of Ms. Spears' estate, and that is ongoing. So I'm just reading through this real quick. The newspaper reports that Jamie Spears receives 1.5% of gross ticket and merchandise sales from Britney's Piece of Me Las Vegas residency, which ran from 2013 to 2017. And the show grossed $137.7 million, according to Caesars Entertainment, which and that meant that Jamie's cut was $2.1 million. The New York Times also reported that he received a 2.95% commission from Britney's 2011 Femme Fatale tour, which would have made him at least $500,000. Now, this is why it's a stunt, because if I am your conservator, that means it's my job to make sure that your affairs are in order and that your mental health and physical well-being is taken care of. Please explain to me why, as a conservator in charge of your own child's mental health and well-being, that you needed to take a cut of sales from her promotional items and tours. I can't see a good reason for that, because there's still like managers and tour promoters. I'm not even shading the 16. I mean, I am shading the $16,000, but the fact that money needed to be made and taken care of for the estate or whatever. So even if you leave that aside, that isn't really what bothers me, because $16,000, it seems like a lot, but 16,000 times 12, it's $192,000 to manage the affairs of a multi-million-dollar pop star who is still like bankable. I mean, essentially he's functioning as her manager over some affairs, but it still just seems, kind of shady, and it seems like a money grab, and so I hope I'm glad he's agreed to step down. So I hope this is a step in the right direction. I also hope that she has gotten actual help, because I don't want this to be a setup for a public breakdown. Because if she hasn't been getting help, then potentially she's only just been getting worse mentally. And without the wall, whatever Jamie was leeching off, at least he was providing some stability. And with that stability gone, is she suddenly just going to have a very public, head shaving, public collapse again?
I don't know about that. I think she, the funny thing is, even looking at her as a young adult, I mean, she's not a young adult, but I'm just saying she's an adult.
Almost 40 years old.
Yeah, she's an adult. But what I'm saying, the point I'm trying to make is, growing up, we go through different stages, and I don't think she was allowed to go through any of those stages that young adults go through. So I think that once this conservatorship piece is over, of course, there's going to be a onslaught of like young adult behavior that's going to happen, because it's a newfound freedom for her. And so that doesn't mean that she doesn't love her kids. It doesn't mean she's not going to take care of her kids. It doesn't mean she's not going to take care of herself, but she's going to have some freedom moments, and she's going to most certainly act as an adult and make choices about some things that she wants to do with her life and her money. So that all I'm saying is, girl, good luck with that. Buy you plenty of lube and get yourself some birth control pills or some condoms, because you might be fucking out of both your legs. That's what I think, but hey, I could be wrong.
Right. So tell us about Lil Boosie bitch ass.
Okay. Listen, Lil Boosie, you know, he that Pulitzer Prize winning writer, author, philanthropist, singer, musician, like he had a last hit win. But anyway,
I couldn't tell you a
he's been,
single thing that he's done, and if he was sitting right next to me, I wouldn't know who he is.
you know why I would stare at him? I would stare at him because I think he's funny looking from what I've seen. But that's just my own personal thing. But anyway, he's been sending out this warning about his beliefs regarding gay culture being pushed upon children. And the latest was talking about this Batman news that we reported on last week.
He's got a little bit of gay face.
Yep. But that he's up in arms about this. And so also Lil Nas X, his recent BET Awards performance may have been applauded by the LGBTQIA plus community, but others weren't as impressed with the openly gay rapper singer taken to the stage to kiss another man. And Boosie Badass, of course, surfaced to denounce the display. And now that Batman's sidekick, Robin, Tim Drake, and we talked about this because there was 4 of them, but the third one has been revealed to be bisexual. Some comic fans are upset, and Boosie is just upset. Now, this clown he shares his post on Instagram saying how his profiles continue to be deleted. So he ferociously tweeted this news regarding Robin. He says, and I quote, "Told y'all, shaking my head, protect your children from the new world order." Then he says, another Instagram post, "Y'all pushing that gay shit on kids," facepalm emoji. And then in another tweet, he added, "Y'all gonna listen to me, Boosie, one day," with a shrugging emoji. "Watch your kids. They're going to be kissing on the next episodes and getting married on the season finale." Listen, everybody can feel how they want to feel about anything in this planet. And he has collected his fair share of people who agree with him. But others couldn't help recall about this same Lil Boosie that's so up in arms about how he bragged about paying a prostitute to perform oral sex on his 12-year-old son. Right. Make it make sense, Lil Boosie? Because I mean, if we're talking about New World Order and we're talking about you have some morals and some I don't understand. Where was your morals then? I mean, make it make sense.
Ain't nobody that there has never been a person who, I mean, we're not talking about like sexual assault wise, but there has never been a young boy who saw 2 men kissing and like, I wonder what it's like to kiss another dude that wasn't already thinking about kissing another dude. There's never been someone that's seen, there's never been a young girl who's seen 2 women kissing or touching each other's breasts. And it's been like, I wonder what, be like to have Sarah touch my breast, who wasn't already thinking about that. That's just not how it goes down. These things don't just spontaneously come up. I mean, I used to think that, one day in the summer of 1984, I started having these gay feelings when I saw, some gay porn. But when you look further back, I can point to lots of stuff. When I was 9 years old, I used to spank my best friend at the time naked. There's like lots of stuff, so yeah, so girl, fuck off.
Now, listen, all I'm saying is that gay thing ain't contagious. And I swear I still laugh every time I see that movie with Tom Selleck as the news reporter and oh my God, it's on the tip of my tongue. He came out to his family. He's a grown man. He was about to get married. In fact, he was marrying John Cusack's sister. I can't think Joan Cusack. And he was a teacher at the school. And it's so funny because at graduation, because they found out he was gay in this small town, they didn't allow him to participate in the graduation. And so during the graduation ceremony, I cannot think of this movie. It's something out. I can't think of what it is, but it's
I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the name.
Yeah. But at the graduation, the kids were sticking up for him. They were like, "Oops, oh, I got it now. Oh, I'm gay." And everyone's like, "Oh, I think I'm gay." That was hilarious to me. And but Lil Boosie, it don't work that way, baby. That's not how it works.
Right.
That's not how it works at all. At all, baby. That's not how it works.
No.
So, but anyway, some nonsense and some shenanigans. There was a video going around about a grown man being duct taped to a chair. And we were talking about this before. You were like, "Oh, it's so funny." I thought this was, this has to be fake. Well, no, that video was not fake. But
The video was real. The video of the flight attendant, that was parody.
That part, yes, that part was fake. But there's another video that's making the rounds. And this one is an 11-year-old child who was flying American Airlines, reportedly became so unruly during the flight that he had to be duct taped to his seat. There was a flight from Maui to Los Angeles that was diverted to Honolulu last Tuesday afternoon, and after the boy got into a physical altercation with his mother and allegedly tried to kick out the window. This is reported by Business Insiders. So according to the witnesses, the child became disruptive about an hour into the flight, and several passengers ultimately helped a staff member duct tape him to a seat. Now, there was video obtained on CBS Los Angeles, and it appears to show the child is being restrained, and they said that no one was injured, but this disruption forced the flight to be diverted to Hawaii's capital, Honolulu, and once landed, the boy was taken into police custody, according to the report. Now, I have several feelings on this because here's the problem that I have. I'm going to just start with the basics. I'm 11 and I'm getting ready to have an argument or disagreement with my mother. And listen, for those of you that know, and you all, you've heard me talk about, listen, Mary Alice she's about 5'2". She was, shaped like a Coke bottle. And, but baby, when I tell you, when she reached over and gritted them teeth, I knew it was business, because she would have conversation with me. She'd be like, if you got them, I would see the sides of her mouth going, she was sucking, if you don't. And she was so slick with it that she was so calm and so slick and so cool about it that sometimes just waiting for her to even reach out and touch me was the most painful thing ever, because it was the anticipation of what the fuck was she getting ready to do next, because she was a little crazy. But barring all that stuff, I grew up in a household where there was corporal punishment. Listen, you was reached out and touched, disciplined, as opposed to on just for no reason. If I started fighting with my mother, physically laying hands on my mother,
it's a wrap.
The way they're reporting this story about this 11-year-old boy being taken off the flight, no, it would have been Mary Alice being taken off the flight, because she had killed me on the flight and flushed me down the toilet in the bathroom. That's what it would have been. I can't imagine. I just can't imagine. I just can't imagine. I just can't imagine. But listen, I don't know where these people came from. I don't know if they're native of Hawaii. I don't know what it is, but this is some,
yes, he was 11 years old. Oh, did we say hello to Tyra when she popped in earlier?
Yes, I did say hello to her. She popped in and then popped back
out. Yeah, the child is 11, and when it was the grown ass man, a grown ass white man, I was like, yeah, duct tape his ass to the seat, and then of course, now this 11-year-old, and the boy is black. We found this article on Negrio, I'm like, God, of course, now everyone's going to, because, black kids aren't allowed to be kids. Now, I'm not defending this child for losing his fucking mind, but, it's a lot more to this story, because at 11 years old, you don't flick off and start fighting bitches on the plane. This ain't the first time where he lost his shit, and it feels like one of those things where, parents, there are some parents who feel like it's everyone else's responsibility to manage their child. You know what I mean? It was like, girl, if your child don't know how to handle themselves, then y'all don't need to fly. I don't know how y'all got to Maui or where the fuck y'all need to go, but whatever, get that girl a Valium or some shit, because I'm telling you this, if I'm on a plane and a bitch start trying to kick out the window, it's a wrap for that child. I'm sorry. I love
We're not even,
Trick love the kids. Trick loves the kids. Dominion loves the kids. But if this kid and 11 years old is strong enough, I mean, he probably couldn't have kicked it out because that window was meant to be whatever. But I'd have just been like, oh, well, we got to do something with this kid. So I'd have been the main one. I'd have been like, listen. I'd have been like, everyone, I'm a Kingstructor. I got this.
Come on, Kingstructor.
So I would have. Yeah, it's a lot going on. But there has been an uptick of people losing their mind and cutting the fucking fool on planes, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's something in the water or whatever. So
yeah, I don't know what. And I've read an article actually not too long ago about Southwest and how they reported to the union at Southwest reported to the president that they were overworked and they were stressed. Listen, people have been trying to get their flights on, and I get that. But the flight attendants and the flights and the way they're being booked and how many flights that they are trying to book to accommodate the people that are trying to fly out, it's a lot. These flight attendants are being overworked, stressed, and it's just a lot. So I listen, I don't want to fly in a metal 10 tube 15,000 feet above in the air and then have to worry about. I want to be as comfortable as I possibly can. So baby, I respect this person that has a job to do as a flight attendant, and I respect the fact that my ass is on this flight and I'm not trying to get out of here no sooner than God's trying to call me. That's just how I feel.
I look at it, when you look at it as an inconvenience, or I'm not saying you necessarily always look at it as inconvenience. I look at it as a fucking miracle that instead of having to get in a boat and row your ass all the way from Maui to Los Angeles, which would have taken days, you can get in this plane and fly there in like 6 hours. It's a fucking miracle. We live in an age of miracles, and all people can see. I mean, in some ways, I am a very half glass, half full kind of person. And to me, I'm like, okay, girl, but now, I mean, we did talk about going to the Maldives, and I said I would fly first class because that's like a 22-hour flight. And so, yes, but most people ain't never doing that. Most people, these are like, they cutting up on a 2-hour flight. I mean, because they can't even deal with it for like 2 to 4 hours. I look at it as a fucking miracle that now we can get places in reasonable amount of time, even 22 hours,
and comfortably.
Right. If 100 years, 150 years ago, if I wanted to, first of all, I probably wouldn't even know what the fuck the Maldives was. But if I wanted to go to the Maldives, that would be like a one-way trip. And you'd be like, yeah, whatever happened to Brian? I mean, because that's just not some shit you do and come back from. So to me, it's all a miracle, and I consider myself blessed to live in this age where we can do this sort of thing. And, it's not like they sticking you with a needle and, you got to ride with a poker in your eye for 6 hours. You just sit there in your little corner, have your little beverage and your individually packed peanuts and just chill for a couple of hours, make sure
air conditioned
and watch John Wick 1 through 3 because you're not seeing it. I'm just, it just feels like people just complain about shit. And I'm just like, you just don't understand that our ancestors, would have given their eye teeth, to have what we consider to be an inconvenience. They would have considered the height of luxury that they didn't have.
Absolutely. It would have been a height of luxury. Absolutely.
Right. So anyway, Chloe Bailey, I don't know who Chloe Bailey is. I've heard of Chloe and Halle, but I don't know it. That's all I know.
Halle and so it's Chloe and Halle, the duo. Chloe is the older sister. Halle is the younger sister. Halle is the one that is actually going to be starring in The Little Mermaid. And it was all the stuff about her starring in The Little Mermaid because she was black. Okay, right. Well, all right, fine. But but Chloe is actually, if you've been on TikTok, she has been out there doing her thing. She's been dropping it like it's hot, twerking, popping, singing. She's been doing everything. And she has this pent up sexual energy. Because listen, the young lady is stacked. She has a body. And, she's in her 20s. And so she's trying to experiment and she's feeling herself. Well, she's gotten some guff from TikTok and everything else about stuff that she's put out there. But again, she also uses TikTok to announce some things. And she just announced that she is going to be releasing a solo single called Have Mercy. And on TikTok, she previewed pieces of it. It was a video teaser and it's starting to go viral. So for those of you that are Chloe and Halle fans, look out for Chloe's little single and Have Mercy. I've heard the little snippet of it. It's cute. I'm here for it. They are definitely I'm not gonna say clones, but they are definitely, you can see the influence of the person that's been managing them or under the record label that they've been with, which is Beyonce. You can definitely hear some of that influence in the way that they sing and just watching her and how she's maneuvering. So I'm feeling all that. I'm hoping she's gonna have a great solo single. I don't know if they're gonna stay together or not, but again, the solo single is actually pretty cute. So we shall see how that goes.
Yeah. So y'all saw Don Cheadle and Kevin Hart. I don't like Kevin Hart. So I don't think he's funny. He said funny things, but anybody can say funny things. But I don't think he's funny in general. So Kevin has a Peacock series called Heart to Heart. And they were just casually talking, and Don Cheadle mentions that he's 56 years old, and to which, Kevin Hart goes, damn!
Right.
Like, 56 years old is, one step away from death or whatever. So it was just like ridiculous. And then, his whole response, he says, I'm sorry. It was a thought and I blurted it out. I did not mean it that way. I did not mean it the way it came out. And then he says, we can take a poll on how many people thought it was. It's just like his apology was very defensive, which just made the whole thing worse. He could have just been like, that was real fucked up for me to say. And then just like take a pause and then just like get back to the thing. But he didn't do that.
All, yeah.
It was rude as shit.
But all in all, it was meant to be a joke. At least that's what Don Cheadle, tweeted out, because he came to his defense and he said, "Listen, everybody, please watch the entire episode." And this is what he was tweeting. He says, "On top of
obviously I didn't read it."
And he said, "On top of understanding this is just how we play. It's a really good one. I think the first question he's asked me is drugs. Do you do them in the parking lot?" And I say, he looked like a black O-lantern in that suit. It's just us. He said, so this is how they joke. So this is Don Cheadle saying it was just a joke. And it is just part of the natural.
That's how good of an actor was, because Don Cheadle looked pissed.
He did. He really did. And if you haven't seen it, you need to check it out, because he actually did. He looked really pissed. But I get it, because there's some things that we can talk about and we can say to one another, not necessarily, but people will be like, well, what the hell? But that's just what we do.
I was watching back the episode from poolside, and I was like, oh, girl, if they know us, they would think that this was
listen.
And just remember, I got your number, hussy.
Mm-hmm. You do. Mm-hmm. I got yours too. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So last but not least, Ava DuVernay is trying to create a show for LeVar Burton to host and make an international hit. So as we know, LeVar Burton did not get the hosting gig for Jeopardy because it was a setup from the Giddy Up. But DuVernay tweeted that she's trying to create a show right this moment to host, to which Burton replied, check your DMs. And so we'll follow up with that and see what's going on with that.
So. Yeah, we shall see. But listen, the power of the tweet and the power of all of not what you know, but who you know. So yes, we shall see.
All right. So Drag Race.
Listen, so let me just start. I'm tired of Drag Race. I love Drag Race, but I'm a little tired. And I think I'm tired of this All Stars season 6 and this game within the game. And so I was really pissed off because I'm sitting there like, what the fuck is going on? What is this guy? Get to the point. Listen, right. They started this episode off, episode 9, and it was they did this thing with the mini challenge with superlatives. And Rue started asking the girls who would be most likely to, and she would ask specific questions. Well, out of the 5 contestants that are left, Trinity, Kylie, Raja, Ginger, and Eureka, she asked these questions, and here's how it went down. Raja didn't get most likely to be anything. Kylie got voted most likely to steal your man and she was voted the prettiest. Ginger Man was voted most likely to be president.
In drag, maybe.
We're gonna repeat what they said. Okay. Trinity was voted most likely to be the moodiest and most likely to go home, and Eureka was most likely to be the messiest, gassiest, bossiest, shadiest, and most likely to go home. So it was, so again, this set the scene or set the tone for the entire episode going forward. And the winners of that, based on how they answered the questions and how many points they got, were Kylie and Ginger. They won $1,000 from the Department of Education. So shout out to Rue or whoever is putting these together, that they're getting money from these federal government agencies or this federal government agency, the Department of Education, to give to them as a prize. So shout out, y'all, you doing your thing. This week, the Maxi Challenge was a Drag Tots transformation, which is going to be this show that is actually on. Was it Peacock or was it World of Wonder? That the show is going to be.
World of Wonder apparently has their own network, which I'm like, okay,
another streaming service that I'm not necessarily trying to buy, but it's a
of all of the shows, all of the services I'm not buying that.
Yeah. And this Drag Tots is basically cartoon versions of drag performers who are very popular. So Bianca, Latrice, Adore Delano, I want to say, I think Trinity, Trinity Taylor was one of them as well, and just a couple of them. Well, they had to make themselves into a character, so they had to come up with a character and who would be the next character and what their powers were, and for the show. Because they're kind of like Powerpuff Girls, if that's how they're drawn in that same caricature-like manner. So Kylie came out and she created a character named Misbehave. Ginger created a character named Terrelyn Dubois Bell Devereaux Jr. III, or Tarabelle. Trinity created a character called Fierce Felicia, the feline runway coach. Eureka created a villain called Alexandria McQueen, and Raja created a person called I See a Queen. And so they all had these different looks. Now, they were all cute, and they had to kind of tell what their superpowers were and how they were created. And it's to make young queer kids, and not necessarily just queer kids, but young kids feel good about themselves and some of the things that they may be going through and how they may feel and or present in life, and just going forward, just trying to erase some of the possible traumas that many people have gone through and they've overcome, just try to make it easier for kids in this 2020s. So we'll go with that. Yes. But it sounds like a cute show, but again, not on a streaming service that I want to purchase, or nor the one that I want to buy right at this point. So we're not doing that. But anyway, from that challenge, Raja was voted the winner. So this was Raja's second win. And because it was only 5 people, all 4 of the remaining people were in the bottom. So they literally had to vote on one another and who was going to be the bottom queens and what they were going to do. So, during this process, there were some tears, there was some pleading to stay, some acknowledgments of the stuff that people have done, like all these different things, because they had to figure out, vote for who's going to vote, who they were going to vote to go off the show. Raja, of course, still had to vote, but she also wanted to talk to everybody else. So the lip sync assassin for the week, as Raja found out, was Cameron Michaels. And so Cameron was actually someone that I liked on the show. And I liked her because she was just, let's lean into this, bear down and get it done. That's how I do my drag. That's how I'm gonna do this lip sync. Bitch, what's the challenge? I'm jumping in. And I kind of like that about Cameron. And she's a muscle queen. And so she's actually cute in drag and out of drag, as many of them are. But she's actually one of the ones that I remember as being very cute out of drag as well as in drag. Now there was some mess because the song that they did was Boom Clack by Charlie XCX.
Which was a terrible song for a lip sync.
But I've talked about Rue's choice of songs, like just in the past couple of seasons, they've been horrible. And she was doing kind of good.
Right. Go ahead.
Yeah, she was doing kind of good up until this song, but this one, no. And I think I know what you're ready to say about choosing the song from the person that's going to come on for that week. But
right, but I was like,
you could have picked something.
Sorry, this was a terrible song. First, when they showed her on the stage, I was like, who the fuck is Charlie? And because listen, I am like,
and is this so XCX is this Charlie 1040? Is that what it is?
Well, XC is going to be 90 plus 10 is 100. So then it would just be C.
Yeah,
because that's I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I'd heard that person. I'd never heard them say how the name was pronounced, but I was like, this song is terrible.
I don't know. Yeah, and I could never, because I'm looking at this and I was like, XCX. I was like, is this Roman numerals? And I was like, wait, is it like, what is this? Because is this 50 or is this 100? I was like, what?
No, because C is 100. The X is 10, so the X before the C,
so that's 90. But then the 10
is 10, so that's 100 again. So this is just to be Charlie C. But whatever.
Yeah,
I'm sure that you and I are like the only people who put that much effort
in trying to figure out. Anyway, Cameron wins a lip sync, and that was one of her complaints. She was like, "This, first of all, this is one of the least memorable lip syncs of season 6." And Cameron is she performs, and so she's good, and so she was pissed. She actually had some stuff on social media that she said it was the worst fucking song. She said she wished she'd have never went on the show and actually did it. So it was one of my least favorites of the season. It wasn't a terrible lip sync in the fact that it was bad, but the song was just fucked up, and it just made
the song was fucked up, and
it was boring.
I feel like Raja phoned it in.
But did she? So, and there was a tweet about that as well. She's like, I did not throw this lip sync. She said it felt like a horrible song.
It really felt like she threw it so that no one could point to her and say she sent someone home.
Well, like I said, her tweets, what she tweeted out was, and she did it in a more diplomatic manner. She was like, well, she said something to the effect of a better song choice another time or something like that. She's playing the game because she's trying to win. Okay, girl, I get it. But it was a horrible song choice, Rue.
Very.
Yeah. But anyway.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but anyway, so because Cameron won, the $10,000 is going to roll over to the next week. So the next lip sync is going to is going to have an additional $10,000 on there. And
that should have been your first clue that something's going on, because normally with the top 4, then it becomes like they're all against one another. So there is no $10,000 to roll over. It's usually a 4-way competition for the crown.
Well, when they finally send Eureka home, again, they go back to the spoiler afterwards, and the room after the room and all this other stuff. Eureka goes in the room and Rue pops up. Now, let me tell you what
15 minutes later.
15 minutes, yes, 15 minutes later as opposed to an hour later. Let me tell you what I like about Miss Eureka. Eureka came out off stage after she just left. She took off her headpiece, and Rue popped on screen, and she said, "Oh no, Mama." She said, "I was about to clock out." She said, "You're not gonna catch me without no wig." That right there for me was everything, because she's about her business. She's like, "I'm not no wig, So she slapped this wig on. She went over to the story, and Rue basically said, "Get dressed and be on stage in 15 minutes. We're gonna have it's gonna be a lip sync for to meet her on stage for this lip sync." And she's like, "What? Huh? Who? Huh?" So Eureka's all funny, and she started spinning around because she was like, "I don't know what to wear. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to." So listen, we already know that this week coming up, even on the previews, is going to be that week where we find out what happened. And I remember Trinity very clearly saying, "It ain't even been 30 damn minutes and they done pulled this bullshit."
Right.
So we're going to see what this is going to happen, and I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, we for
So
those.
I guess what's going to happen is that the ones that got to me, if they just do a lip sync battle between all of the girls that got sent home, that's not a game within a game.
No, it's not. I'm wondering if so. First of all, for those of you that are watching the show, you'll find out it releases at like 3:00 in the morning. So if you're up at 3:00 in the morning, you watch it. Don't tell me because I'm gonna watch it when I wake up. But the game within a game, I'm hoping they did some other footage somewhere, maybe another pageant that was running, a contest was running along side by side.
That's what I think would be very interesting if they, because they're on Paramount and they can sort of do it as, you know, when you are on VH1 or another network, you can't just run a show forever because, you know, you've got other things that you've got to sort of fit into. But they could run the show on the Paramount network as long as they have. And so we're on what, episode 9? If there were like
9 and coming up as 10,
6 or 7 more episodes showing this other game within a game, you know, that would be interesting. Like, it would be cute. It would be cool if they did all of the challenges, but like in reverse.
I'm not great to do another 6 or 7 episodes of All Stars. It's not that interesting for me. I'm not going to do that. I'm losing my patience as is. Like, listen, ladies and gentlemen,
maybe 1 or 2 episodes.
Yeah, I haven't done any PowerPoints because I feel like I'm losing interest. Like, I am losing interest very quickly. Like, So I'm hoping to see how this is going to work. So we'll see next week, tomorrow, what goes on, and we'll be definitely report out to you guys what's going to go on. So we shall see. So
you know, whatever. I'm glad that Trinity and Raja are still there. So that's good. You know, the Black girl contingent is still in
a possibility. I do believe right now of the 5 people that are on the stage, that were on the stage, I am rooting for Raja now, as well as Ginger. I still like Kylie, and I still like Trinity, but for some strange reason, I feel like Raja's the underdog, and I feel like Ginger has been a forerunner. So I don't.
Ginger feels like she's being forced down our throats. And I mean, it's not her fault that she's more talented than some of these girls. So, I mean, it's not really her fault, but I'm just not that huge of a Ginger fan, I guess.
I was a fan. I liked her on her original season. I thought she was very talented.
That was season 7, which is the season that was season 7, right?
I don't remember what season it was, but it sounds about right. But I do like her.
I certainly did not remember seeing. I knew who she was because I had heard the name before, but I don't remember her ever being on the show. So it must have been season 7.
And for me, she's one of the smart. I'm not gonna use cerebral because we're using that. You were using that for what's her face? That one. Bald. What's her name? She won against Shea Coulee and the Roses.
Oh, yeah, her.
I can't think of her name right now. But she's a smart queen in the sense that she uses her head, and you know, she has a gift of gab, and she's talented, and she has jokes, and so she's in that same vein for me as Bob, as Bianca. And you know, I even like Shangela, even though Shangela, we already know she was Rob. Shangela's a smart queen. She you know, she uses her head and her personality. So I think that she fits right in with that sort of thing, and so that works for me. But you know, I'm a little biased. So
very. So we'll find out soon. Hopefully, this bitch will be wrapping up soon, and then you know we can move on with our lives.
Yeah. So, but you know, listen, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to roll this beautiful beam footage before we roll up out of here because Daddy is a little hungry.
Yes. And, my sister fixed something upstairs that smells delicious.
And I still got to wait for this thing to be delivered. So, yeah, let's roll this beautiful beam footage and we'll be back.
Hey, ooh, eccentric is frying swai as we speak. That's fish, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
so let's see what's happening next week. So we've got Drag Race. I mean, there'll be more shit going on. Oh, have you been watching What If?
I watched the first episode of What If. I did not watch the second episode of What If. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's
it just
out.
came out this morning. It comes out
Yes, I
like
did.
at midnight or whatever. So
Yeah, I
this
didn't
one
watch the second
is
episode.
what if what was old
The first
boy
one was Captain
in
America.
Guardians of the Galaxy, what was he called? Star-Lord.
Oh,
So in this one,
yeah.
it was what if T'Challa was Star-Lord?
Ah.
So it was very no. Don't get me wrong. I was reading something else. Eccentric is like our accountant. He says 13 views, 4 likes. I'm no accountant, but
yeah,
it's a slow and steady progress. So we are getting there.
And what's funny is I think we seem to get more views on and more views after as opposed to live. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, and we've got to work on converting those views into likes. So I started by adding the like, share, and subscribe at the bottom of the screen. And I'm also going to share that image that Eccentric tagged us in that shows people how to, when they subscribe,
absolutely.
Because a couple of the girls are like, how do I know when the show is happening? I'm like, well, first of all, you're grown. It happens at the same time every week, but okay.
Every week, yes.
But sure. But anyway, so this episode of What If was really good because again, it imagined what if Star-Lord was T'Challa, but instead of Peter, whatever the fuck his name was. So that was pretty interesting.
Okay.
And it was a little bit emotional. So, because that was Chadwick Boseman's actual very last performance.
Oh, wow. I got to watch that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to watch it anyway, but yeah.
Yeah. And so it was dedicated to him at the end. So it's pretty good. So I'm looking forward to see what else that's bringing.
Have you watched any of American Horror Stories?
No, but Horror Story comes out today is the 25th. So it comes out a week from today. So it'll come out right as this show is going off of the air.
Yes. And also Tiana and Imani, Jesus Christ. Tayana and Iman have their show tonight. We Got Love. And so I'm interested because I love Tayana Taylor.
Oh, okay. And Iman who?
Her husband. Her husband's name is Iman. I'm sorry. Her husband's name is Iman. Is it Iman or Imani? Schubert. I think it's Imani.
I know who Tiana Taylor is, but I have no idea who her husband is.
Yeah, her husband's name is either Iman or Imani, and I always get it incorrect. But that tall drink of water is his bot from like the neck down is like, oh my God, you are a tall drink of water there. Now from here up is not unpleasant.
Iman Schubert. Oh, let me see if I can Google this real quick.
It's Iman Schubert. Yeah. From the neck down, that's a tall drink of water. But from here up, it's not unpleasant. But again.
Oh, he's a sports ball player.
Yes, he even won a super championship thing about a Super Bowl series thing. Yeah, this team won one of them. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm about to see his body because his face is doing nothing for me.
Yeah, it's like, but they did a photo shoot. I think it was in like Essence or something. They were like dressed in all these high fashion, whatever, outfits. And he had on these little itty bitty tiny shorts. And I was like, ooh, you got a lot going on there.
Oh, Bougie Girl says from the groin down too. I was like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Pictures we need to see.
I didn't see these pictures already. I'm just saying, Tyra, he yeah. So I see why she got 2 babies and both them babies was born in the bathroom and they couldn't get to the hospital before. Well, one was born in the bathroom, the other one was born in the house, I think, but they couldn't get to the hospital before that either. So look. And Tiana's body is just absolutely ridiculous. Like her body is so fucking amazing.
It is, but her face just doesn't do it for me. And I hate to
But you know what?
I hate to be judging women based solely on their looks, but
so first of all, I think she is a beautiful woman, and she has a beauty that is similar to Grace Jones as far as I'm concerned. It's the structure of her face that makes it even more beautiful. Now, her structure, it can be, some people might look at it and say it's hard or chiseled, but when she's done, Miss Teyana Taylor is amazing. Like she's that girl. Like she's beautiful. You're like,
I'm just looking for these other pictures. I just Googled his name and nude to see what the interwebs gives. So, I see it a little bit.
And I love her last album. So I keep talking about her album, but I love her last album. I think it's amazing.
Oh, wait a minute.
It stays on repeat.
Oh, wait a minute. Iman Shumpert joins the Eggplant Club. Okay. He's got a lot going on.
Forward that over to me, please. I didn't see that one because what's the name where you click the link and you see the extra? Yeah, send that over to me.
Yes.
Thank you.
I shall.
But yeah, so I'm gonna watch that show again, or not again, but I'm watching that show tonight because I'm taping it, so we'll see how that rolls out as well. So, but after all that, it's been one heck of a day, and it's been a really good day. And it's been a good show. So we really, 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 really appreciate you guys spending time with us. These 13 likes and 13 views and 4 likes, we're gonna get that up. We're gonna get zeros behind them, and we're gonna claim that. That's what's gonna happen. So,
I just posted it in the chat.
Oh.
So yeah, yes, we will be getting those likes and views up, and we thank you all for coming out. So with that, we will end as we always end by saying thank you all for coming out. God bless you and good night. Mwah.